From one rapper who put a hit on someone over a lyric.
I am not good. I wish I could be good. But when somebody tries to you over a rap lyric, when I see these things where he's like, man, I had, Oaktown 357 sold more records than Third Base, and so that, I just want to put a gun in his mouth.
To another who tried to take out his enemy behind bars, and Lil Durk ordering hits on Quando Rondo.
Breaking news, rapper Lil Durk is charged in a for hire plot.
Now the plot targeted rapper Quando Rondo's cousin, who was in 2022.
These are 10 famous rappers who secretly ordered real hits. First up is 50 Cent. Everybody knows the story of how 50 got shot 9 times. He was chilling outside his grandmother's house when a car rolled up, and someone just started letting off shots. He got hit all over: his hand, arm, hip, legs, chest, and even his face.
Car pulled up on the side of us. A guy got out the passenger seat of that car, came around behind it, and shot through the actual car.
And as we all know, the person behind the hit was the notorious Supreme McGriff. The reason is 50 had dropped a song called Ghetto Quran, where he name-dropped a lot of street figures, including Supreme, and that didn't sit well with certain people.
You slow I'ma break it down illa. Supreme was the businessman and Prince was the...
But Supreme wasn't the only one suspected to be involved. Another name that always comes up is Yo Gotti, not just because of how close he was to the Supreme team, but because he had his own beef with 50. Irv and his Murder Inc. crew had been going at it with 50 for a long time, and according to Tony Yayo, they even went looking for 50 one time, trying to stir up trouble. Yayo later said that Irv and his guys were lucky to walk away that day, and that it was only by divine intervention that things didn't escalate.
Ja Rule and them niggas would have been dead, cause either me or 50 gonna squeeze. You come running in the studio like that, we gonna squeeze. So they had God on their side. I swear on my dead father. Ja Rule would have been dead. Chris Gotti, all them niggas that ran in there, they would have been dead.
Of course, Irv Gotti and his camp had their own version of events. They claimed they had beat 50 up and even stabbed him, going so far as to say that 50 filed a restraining order against them, essentially calling him a snitch.
Now, if you talk to me about 50 in this case, I'm gonna say he been talking to the police.
It was nothing big. It was just a little scuffle. It was nothing big.
Yes, sir.
But he felt the need, to go to the cops
and press charges.
Jackson, that as a result of the above described conduct, informant suffered lacerations. Informant, y'all. Informant.
That wasn't the case. Yes, 50 did get injured, but it was more of a scratch than the serious stabbing they made it out to be.
Crutches and shit.
50 got stabbed that day, right? He did get stabbed, right?
Vlad, shut with that.
Okay. He got.
I had a scratch.
You called it a stabbing and it sounded more graphic than it actually was. So I used a butter knife. I had 3 stitches. It's a scratch. But
then there's the infamous shooting. Another reason Irv is suspected of being involved is because of something he said afterward. He made a comment suggesting that it must have been Satan who saved 50 that day.
Maybe Satan saved him, because he's a great engine of chaos. I don't think God would save somebody who moves. Everything you think of 50 is just negative. He's just an engine of negativity, beef, chaos.
To a lot of people, that sounded less like a casual remark and more like he was genuinely upset that 50 had survived. Next up is Suge Knight and the long-running rumors that he might have been the real mastermind behind Biggie's death. The theory goes that Suge believed someone from Biggie's camp, or at least someone connected to the East Coast rap scene, had a hand in Tupac's murder. And in the heated, chaotic atmosphere of the East Coast-West Coast rivalry, getting revenge on Biggie seemed like the perfect way to even the score. Suge Knight was known for being ruthless, especially when it came to protecting his empire and the artists under his label. Tupac wasn't just any rapper, he was Death Row's biggest star, their golden ticket. Losing him wasn't just a huge financial loss, it was a massive hit to Suge's reputation. With his empire already showing cracks, a lot of people believe it was only a matter of time before he sought some kind of payback. And that's where a guy named Poochie comes in. Now, if you don't know who Poochie was, let's just say he wasn't someone you wanted to be on the wrong side of. He was a well-known gang member and a close associate of Suge Knight. Poochie had a reputation. He was the type of guy who could walk into a room and instantly make everyone uncomfortable.
Do I believe that man was a killer? Hell yeah. I'll answer that. He definitely was a killer. He looked like it. He acted like it. You kind of felt it when he came in the room.
People who knew him said you could feel the tension rise the moment he stepped in. He had that kind of energy where you just knew he wasn't the type to play games.
Oh man, he wasn't, you know what I mean, wasn't big, nothing. But to me, he looked like, you know, that wasn't the one to fuck with, for sure.
According to multiple sources, Suge allegedly hired Poochie to take Biggie out as retaliation for Tupac's murder.
So you're saying that Suge told Poochie to kill Biggie?
Indirectly.
Next up is Diddy and the long-standing speculation that he might have had some kind of connection to the deaths of both Tupac and Biggie.
People would say he had no business in LA at that time. We all knew that. Why would Puff rent studio time? Come on, man, look. You gotta look at what people...
Over the years, plenty of people in the industry have subtly called him out on it. Like 50 Cent, for example. In his 2006 diss track Bomb, 50 rapped, "Who shot Biggie Smalls? We don't get him. They gonna kill us all. Man, Puffy know who hit that dude."
Man, that off. He scared them boys from the west side to break them off.
And then there's Eminem, who made a surprising reference to Diddy in his 2018 track Kill Shot. Even though the song was mainly aimed at MGK, M threw in a wild line saying, "The day you put out a hit's the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac killed."
Skills but cows the day you put out a hits, the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac.
It was shocking enough that he had to clarify at the end of the song that he was just joking. But for a lot of people, the line hit too close to home.
Oh, and I'm just playing, Diddy.
But the biggest claim against Diddy comes from Keef D, the same guy currently behind bars for Tupac's murder. As we all know, Keef has been talking for years, and one of the biggest bombshells he dropped was that Diddy allegedly paid him $1 million to take out Tupac.
Was that after Tupac got killed, Puffy allegedly gave the money,
I heard,
to Zip.
Yes.
And Zip was supposed to give the money to Keef.
Then there's the theory that Diddy also set Biggie up. Some people believe he purposely dragged Big to Los Angeles, knowing full well that something could go down.
People would say he had no business in LA at that time. We all knew that. Why would Puff rent studio time? Come on, man, look. You gotta look at what people... You know Pac just got killed. It ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk. He couldn't run. They was pushing him around in a wheelchair, brother.
There are a lot of little details that people find suspicious, like how Biggie's security team had reportedly suggested increasing protection that night, but the advice was ignored.
I asked them before we gonna go out? Let's hire some more security. They refused to hire more security.
Then there's the fact that Diddy's car didn't stop at the red light when Biggie was shot, leaving him vulnerable.
Walk us through those final moments.
We get out, Puff pull out first. We pull out behind him. He blow past the light. We stopped at the light.
Some even mention the weird stickers that were slapped on Biggie's car just before the shooting, suggesting it could have been a way to mark the vehicle for the hit.
I don't know if Big came over to Andre Harrell with that on his car, but Puff didn't have it on his car. So only one that has an opportunity and only one that could have done that was somebody from the street team.
But despite all these rumors, Diddy has never been charged with anything related to either case. And it's not just Biggie and Tupac that Diddy has been accused of targeting. According to The Game, at one point, Diddy might have even wanted to take out Drake.
When there are beefs, and they are here no matter who it is, like there's certain people that are gonna get called, and I'm one of those people. So, you know, I had privy, Drake to a little information.
Most people don't really buy that theory, but it just adds to the long list of crazy rumors surrounding him. Next up is MC Hammer and the supposed hit he put out on Third Base. The tension started when Hammer dissed Run DMC, and Third Bass responded by taking it up a notch. They came at Hammer in their song The Cactus, specifically targeting his mother. The line, "The cactus turned Hammer's mother out," was a double entendre, referencing both their 1989 Cactus album and Hammer's hit record from the same year, Turn This Mutha Out.
Right. So we were saying our album was doper, but we were saying it New York slick shit. Like we had some slick talk coming out our mouth.
Right.
Hammer thought we were talking about his mom.
That jab didn't sit well with Hammer or his family, especially his brother, Louis Burrell. In a 2015 interview, MC Search, a member of Third Base, revealed just how serious things got. While flying to Los Angeles, Def Jam president Carmen Ashurst Watson received a chilling phone call. A voice on the other end asked, "Is Third Bass on their way to LA?" When she confirmed they were, the caller, who identified himself as Louis Burrell, reportedly said, "Good, they're dead." According to Search, the threat was no idle talk. He claimed fellow Def Jam artist Eric B. confirmed that there was $50,000 hit out on them, allegedly to be carried out by the Los Angeles Crips.
And here's somebody say, is Third Base on their way to LA? And she goes, yeah. And the voice says, good, they're dead. This is Louis Burrell. And Eric B. basically puts a feeler out and finds out it's true. That there's a hit out on Third Base with the Crips.
To keep things from spiraling out of control, Russell Simmons, co-founder of Def Jam, took precautions and had Barefoot Boogie, a well-known figure in the hip-hop scene, act as security for Third Bass during their stay in LA. Even with Boogie watching their backs, tensions were high. One day, Search and his girlfriend went to a mall while Boogie kept an eye on them. Things seemed fine until a group of Crips showed up while Search was signing autographs for fans. The gang members started pressing him, but Boogie managed to step in and defuse the situation before it got ugly.
Go up and I'm signing autographs, and as they get closer, the dude over here, he pulls the rag up. Dude over here, he pulls the rag up. As they come up to me, Pookie whistles. Everything stops. He throws up some signs. One dude right in front of me, who's got his hand on his ratchet, pulls down his mask and he goes, "Yo, man, I love that record, but I was finna smoke you right now, homie."
Instead of taking this as a warning to lay low, Search decided to keep the feud alive. The very next day, while on a live radio show, he called MC Hammer a B and accused him of hiding behind his goons. That reckless comment didn't go unnoticed. The radio station received a phone call from someone claiming to be a member of the Rollin' 60s Crips, warning Search, "We're going to kill you."
And if you feel like we dissed your matriarchal, that's okay, but you know what you did. You know what's going on in these streets. Why don't you man up and see me face to face so we can figure this out? Stop being a bitch. Live. Greg Mack, who's this? Rollin' 60 Crip N-word. We finna kill them. Boop! Out!
Understandably shaken, Third Bass bolted from the station, jumped into their car, and headed back to their hotel. But as they drove, a car full of Crips began tailing them, making it clear they weren't playing games. The Crips even pointed guns at them, sending a very real message that they meant business. Somehow Search and his crew made it back to their hotel unharmed, but the incident left them terrified. For the remainder of their press tour in Los Angeles, Third Bass wore disguises and avoided public appearances as much as possible. As soon as they wrapped up their promo duties, they got out of the city. Even years later, Search admitted the experience left lasting scars.
I've gone through 25 years of therapy 3 days a week. I am not good. I wish I could be good. But when somebody tries to kill you over a rap lyric,
Next up is Yo Gotti and the long-standing rumors about his alleged involvement in Young Dolph's murder. Young Dolph was tragically killed on November 17, 2021, after being shot 22 times. From the moment news of his death broke, many suspected it was tied to his long-running feud with Yo Gotti, and as it turns out, those suspicions weren't entirely wrong. When Dolph's killers were arrested and put on trial, one of the biggest bombshells was that one of the accused had reportedly snitched on Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother, claiming that Jook had put $100,000 hit on Dolph.
Had a hit on Dolph head or whatnot, so.
How do you know that Big Jook had a hit on Dolph's head?
Quit had told me about it.
How much money was it supposed to be?
100,000 on Dolph head.
And had you agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
Had Justin agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
For years, fans speculated that Yo Gotti's camp had something to do with Dolph's murder, and this revelation only added fuel to the fire. But the craziest twist in this whole situation is that the guys who actually carried out the hit were seriously shortchanged. They were promised $40,000, but when it was all said and done, they only ended up with $800. People were shocked that a legendary figure like Young Dolph was taken out for such a measly amount of money. Then there's Drake and the conspiracy theories surrounding his alleged connection to XXXTentacion's murder. Their beef started when XXXTentacion accused Drake of stealing his sound, which led to a series of online shots between them. But things took an even darker turn after X was murdered in 2018. Fast forward to 2023, and suddenly Drake's name started coming up in legal discussions. There were reports that efforts were being made to subpoena him, forcing him to testify about whether he had any knowledge of X's murder.
Is Drake responsible for the death of Florida rapper XXXTentacion? The Canadian artist was the subject of one defense attorney's opening.
At first, it was all over the headlines. Everyone was talking about it. But then, just as quickly as it blew up, it all went quiet. Drake never had to testify, and the whole situation just faded into the background. The killers were convicted, and for most people, that was the end of it. But during the trial, Dedrick Williams, one of the men convicted of X's murder, had a lawyer who wasn't about to let things go so easily. The attorney pointed out that, before his death, X had posted on social media, claiming that if anything ever happened to him, Drake would be responsible. X later retracted the statement, but that didn't stop the defense from using it to argue that Drake hadn't been properly investigated.
He came on social media and said, guys, before he dies, if anybody kills me, it's Drake. Do you think in that time span that they went and they addressed him, they talked to him? Today, years later, any detective has ever asked, Drake or anybody like that? No, they never did that. So you ask yourself, how?
The prosecution, however, shut it down, stating there was no solid evidence linking Drake to the crime. And then there's Young Thug and the alleged attempt on YFN Lucci's life. The beef between Young Thug's YSL camp and YFN Lucci has been well documented for years, and when both rappers ended up in jail, things only got worse. Reports surfaced that Young Thug had allegedly ordered a second hit on Lucci while they were both locked up, as part of the broader RICO case against YSL. At the time, news broke that Lucci had been stabbed in prison, and many believed it was directly linked to his ongoing war with Thug. But that wasn't even the first attempt on Lucci's life. Before his arrest, his house was shot up twice. In one of those incidents, his mother was actually hit in the foot.
I don't know, man. I get a call, my mom don't say the house got shot. They ain't even pull up in front of the house. They pull up like right here, and he say it happened again. We hop out, we come over here. Jew was in here, my big brother, Juju was in here, my baby mama, and my little girl and my mama and her friend. Both of them got shot though, my mama and her friend.
His car was also sprayed with bullets on multiple occasions. Next up is Birdman and the alleged hit he put out on Lil Wayne. We all know about the fallout between these two. What was once a father and son relationship in the rap game turned sour when Wayne discovered that Birdman had been cheating him out of millions. After years of loyalty to Cash Money Records, Wayne decided he'd had enough and tried to walk away.
And niggas is trying to steal my career without letting me do or say a damn thing. But it's moments like this that make that bullshit is. If you that I am stressing or letting this get to me, please remember, there's too much good loyal fans to worry about bullshit ass Birdman music.
But that decision supposedly came with serious consequences. Rumors started swirling that Birdman, along with Young Thug, had allegedly put a hit out on Wayne. On April 24, 2015, Lil Wayne's tour bus was shot at, and the man responsible was Jimmy Winfrey, aka Pee Wee Roscoe.
Shots were fired at the tour bus of Grammy-winning rapper Lil Wayne on the 26th of April. Footage from the NBC affiliate in Atlanta, Georgia, showed several bullet holes in the side of the bus, but no injury.
At first, people assumed it was connected to the beef between Wayne and Young Thug, but the situation turned out to be far more complicated. The shooter, Jimmy Winfrey, aka Pee Wee, wasn't just Young Thug's road manager, he also had ties to Birdman. The shooting occurred shortly after Wayne performed at a club called The Compound in Atlanta. Pee Wee allegedly pulled up to the venue with an assault rifle in his car, telling witnesses, "This is my city, keep messing around and I'll spray the bus." Initially, the police escorted Wayne's bus as it hit the highway, but when it crossed into a new jurisdiction, the escort ended. That's when Pee Wee made his move, firing multiple shots at the bus. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the situation could have easily ended in tragedy. What made the case even more damning were the details that emerged afterward. According to investigators, Pee Wee made a phone call immediately after the shooting to none other than Birdman. Around the same time, it was reported that Young Thug had called Pee Wee 8 times just minutes before the incident.
2 rappers have been implicated in a plot to murder another rapper. Back in April, Lil Wayne's tour bus was at performers Birdman and Young Thug have been named in an...
Later, a jailhouse recording surfaced of a conversation between Birdman and Pee-wee. In the call, Birdman allegedly told Pee-wee to come collect his money, leading many to believe Birdman had put a bounty on Wayne's head. It didn't help Birdman's case when Alvin Lewis, the bus driver, filed a lawsuit claiming Pee-wee had shot at the bus because Birdman promised to pay him $250,000 and give him a Porsche. Pee-wee ended up taking a plea deal, which resulted in a 20-year prison sentence. Then there's Lil Durk and the hit he allegedly had on Quando Rondo. The streets haven't forgotten what happened to King Von, and apparently neither did Durk. He's currently facing federal charges for allegedly ordering a murder-for-hire plot in August 2022, targeting Quando Rondo. This was supposedly a get-back move for Von's death. The first attempt on Quando was in Waycross, Georgia, where he was performing at a show. On the way back, while he and his entourage were parked at a gas station, shots started ringing out from across the street.
Oh my God, it is Quando, y'all. It's got to be. They talking about it was the rapper that performed at the Vibe, at the club. They talking about it was Quando.
Over 100 bullets were fired at them. At least one person in his crew got hit and had to be taken to the hospital while Quando managed to escape. Videos of the aftermath started popping up all over social media. In one clip, a woman at the scene mentioned how loud the gunfire was and even walked up to bullet markers left by the police.
No, look at all them bullets. Yeah, they got down picking up.
But that wasn't the last attempt on Quando's life. Fast forward to August 2022. Quando had just landed in LA with his crew, which included his sister and his cousin Lil Pob. They stopped at a gas station, and that's when the next hit came. Gunshots rang out, and this time Lil Pob wasn't as lucky.
Shots fired, a fight taken to the streets, and this chaotic scene, the ending of a shooting that started in Los Angeles, California. Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an...
Quando was inside the car when it happened, but Pob was outside when the bullets started flying. He got hit, and while Quando once again walked away without a scratch, his cousin didn't make it. The whole thing was caught on camera, and footage showed Quando in complete shock, breaking down after realizing his cousin was gone.
Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight. It all started at this mobile gas station at 5:30 Friday evening. LAPD says witnesses heard multiple gunshots,
And then we have 6 ISIS 9 in A. Back in 2018, a video started making the rounds, showing Tekashi FaceTiming a man who was allegedly Chief Keef's cousin. During the call, 6 IX 9 INE was pressing him for information, trying to figure out where he was staying.
You at? You gonna be in your crib or you gonna be in social hotel? Huh? You gonna be in your crib or you gonna be...
Once he got the details, he hung up and casually told his crew that he had put a $30,000 bounty on the guy's head.
I got 30 pack right now, bro. 30 pack. Swear to God.
This all went down in the middle of Tekashi's beef with Chief Keef, and what made it even crazier was the timing. His threat came just hours before his arrest on racketeering and firearms charges.